Good morning. This is Ken Bogrant. As a preliminary matter, permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Neville Richard.
Yes.
Diane Coombs. Eleanor Antonetti.
Here.
Google, stop.
Joe Topham.
Present.
Linda Williams.
Here.
Tim Savarino.
Here.
Mark Beal.
Here.
Tom Dixon.
Here.
And Administrator Glenna Stokes Scarlett.
I'm here.
Kathy second. Right, Kathy Richard.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is Ken Bogrant. I would like to call to order the meeting of the Community Preservation Committee Tuesday, October 17th at 10 a.m. It is being done by remote access. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor vote by yea or nay. Neville,
Yay.
Diane, Eleanor,
Yay.
Joe,
Okay.
Linda,
Yep.
Tim,
Yes.
Mark,
Aye.
Tom Dixon.
Aye.
The minutes of the meeting of September 19th, 2023 have been circulated. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as circulated.
So
I'd
move.
move. Second.
Moved and seconded. In favor, all in favor, Neville,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and Tom Dixon.
Aye.
Next, I would indicate that we have a guest, Christine Sanford, who is chair of the South Church Preservation Fund, and we will have her on the agenda okay, it would be appropriate for you to speak, to talk to us about your request, Christine.
Do you want me to go ahead now?
Yes, please.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Christine Sanford, and I am the current chair of South Church Preservation Fund. And I don't know if you're all aware of what we do. You've funded several major projects for us in the past, and we're so very grateful for the preservation of the building, which is our mission. We have discovered that the bell in the tower is badly rusted, and I had found a company in Vermont that specializes in bell restoration and tower restoration for churches in the New England area. I had them send down a company called High Climbers, excuse me. And they inspected the bell and determined that the hanger for the bell needs to be replaced because it's so badly rusted. So I got a bid from them, and the problem was, I'm so sorry that we didn't get to you on the date September 8th, but there was a problem in finding out the cost of the metal that they wanted to use for the hanger. I think you all have pictures. I sent you pictures. Have you all had a chance to look at them?
No,
Oh,
Has anybody
not
seen
seen
the
any
pictures? Uh,
excuse me.
We have
I
not
don't
seen any pictures.
It was in my proposal.
We haven't seen your proposal.
It was never given to us.
I what?
So Christine, this is
Yeah.
what, your proposal was not shared because it has not been accepted. Today was your opportunity to, just explain to them why you didn't meet the deadline date and to ask if they would be open to accepting your proposal. Once
Okay.
that is done, I will share what you have dropped off at the office.
Okay. So anyway, okay, I'm sorry you haven't seen the pictures, but we went up into, we went into the tower. We took lots of pictures of the hangar. I consulted several metal people on the island, Billy Sherry and Penn Austin, and they both agreed that the hangar needed to be replaced and the bell was in danger, which was very scary. So but when I contacted the company that I just told you about in Vermont called Church Specialties, they put me in touch with a company called Chime Masters who have people that I told you about, the high climbers that specialize in doing exactly this, repairing bells and bell hangers in the New England area. They climbed up there and they agreed with the island's assessment that the hangar needed to be replaced. And the reason I didn't get it in time to you was because they weren't able to find out how much the metal was cost, how much the metal for the hangar would cost. And that was a problem. So, but I've been watching your Zoom meetings and I saw that maybe that there might be an opportunity because this was such a dire situation that you might consider funding this project this year, even though my PAC proposal was late in getting to you because of not being able to find the exact prices. Anyway, so Chime Masters did respond finally with a price for the replacement of the hangar and the repair of the box bearings and the repair of the bell. And the cost is $55,000. So that's a lot for us. We're a very poor organization, actually, and it's also a very poor congregation. It has really shrunk in size, which is very regrettable, but it is what's happened. So I'm hoping that you might consider funding this. I have all the information in my proposal to you. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. I'm not used to this, but if possible, we understand that we were late in getting our project to you, but our project is so important to the town and we're eager to fix the bell hanger for the safety of the building.
Questions? David Vaughn?
Hello?
David, you're muted.
I think I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Ken, thank you. If I can just expand very briefly, the housing for the bell has got serious corrosion. It's frankly difficult to quantify when failure would occur, but plainly there's some risk of structural failure and the bell itself dropping through the tower. It would go through 2 levels of the upper tower before going through the ceiling above the organ, the painted ceiling, which you all have supported the restoration of. It would then drop through the organ case itself, demolishing it before emerging through the ceiling of the staircase into the entryway and coming to rest on the sand underneath the entry floor. It poses a hazard for those using the building. It certainly poses a serious hazard to the work that the CPC has supported for us in the past. We understand that it's irregular bringing forward an application outside the time limits, but we think there's an argument here for making an exception to both preserve the building itself and to preserve and protect the investment that the CPC has made in the past. We can take any questions, but I think that's the essence of our proposal.
Linda?
My only concern, even if we voted to take it, and we have done it with the town out of rotation, but my only concern is that the funding, if we didn't take it out of reserves now, the funding wouldn't be available until July 1. And that is a considerable time from now. That's 10 months from now. If the bell is in dire need immediately, and as you said, you don't know how long it's going to hang up there. I don't know what the alternative is here. Maybe Ken has an idea, but I'm concerned that if we put you into the rotation now for funding, the funding isn't available until July 1.
Can I speak to that, Linda?
Yes.
I did speak to Chime Masters, and because I had to talk to them about the money, and he felt that the bell hanger would be okay, but that it needs, within the next 2 years, it needs to be replaced.
Okay, thank you.
And I just, as chair of the South Church Preservation, I feel hugely responsible for. We didn't even discover the situation with the bell hanger until we did an inspection of the building last spring, and that's when we saw the problem, and I got Penn Austin up there and Billy Sherry up there, and they thought it was in bad shape. But then when I contacted Chime Masters and they went up, they said it absolutely has to be replaced. So we discovered this back in April, and I've been working on it since then, trying to get, I was so happy to find Chime Masters and Church Specialties that they said it's actually not an uncommon situation in these bell towers that are exposed to the weather just because of the way they're built with the louvered, but
Linda?
For the newer members, and we have quite a few actually, over time, the CPC has been working with the Unitarian Church from almost the beginning 20 years ago, and I think Neville will remember that too. And we've done the outside, we've done the inside, we've done the bell, we've done the tower, we've done just about every part of that church, as well as the Methodist Church and the Congo Church. And we're working on St. Mary's now. And we've invested a tremendous, probably over $1 million over time on that church. And there's even a book about that bell. I'm concerned if we don't take it in. I personally would not have a problem of opening it to take it in, but that's just my opinion because of all the investment we've made in that church already, and hating to see something happen that would destroy a lot of what we've already spent over $1 million to preserve.
thank you, Linda.
Tim?
Mr. Chairman, thanks. Question through you, if I could, to Glenna.
Yes, please.
At our last meeting, it was mentioned that she knew of an applicant that had not got their proposal in on time, but she knew there was a group that was working. I don't recall the name, but Glenna, my question is, would this be the group that you were referring to?
This was one of the groups that I was referring to. The other group never followed up with me, and so I did speak to Christine and invited her to this meeting and let her know that I would put her request on the agenda to be considered.
So as a follow-up, Glenna, if I could, so clearly this project had surfaced prior to the deadline. You knew about it and knew that they
No.
were.
Not prior to the deadline, after the deadline.
Okay,
I received it after the deadline.
right, but you knew about you knew they were trying to comply before the deadline. Am I correct on that?
Well, I knew she was trying to pull something together. She
Okay,
never
that's
said
fine.
that she was going to submit.
No, that's fine.
The
That's
problem
just-
was, no, I'm so sorry. The problem was not being able to get the cost.
No, I'm clear on that. I'm
Yeah,
clear on that. Yep.
Yeah.
And just as a follow-up, Tim, Christine and I did speak about her intentions to get it together. And when she didn't meet the deadline, and I heard from her after, and at that time she expressed to me that she did not have the proposal, and that's why she didn't submit. And I said, well, in past, we have had applicants submit their proposals for a grant application, and then they may be asked to bring an addendum at a later date within 1 to 2 weeks, or she could have gotten that a invoice, if you will, for the work that she was looking to have done. So we didn't have those extensive conversations until after the fact, but she did reach out to me before the deadline and told me that she was trying to pull something together.
That's all I needed to know. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Neville?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'm just making a general statement to everyone. I think that this is a good project. I think I believe that the applicant, the actual premise of the applicant is to find out whether we would take the application and consider it for this year. And following up, Mr. Chairman, on what the Vice Chair had said, we have been working with this project for quite a few years. Considering the amount, and I know it's late, and I know that had we not accepted the applicants that we accepted at our last meeting, which was also late, which opened us up for this, I think that we should make special occasion and accept this applicant.
Is that a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's a
Is
motion.
there a second?
I
to
will
that?
second, I will second that motion.
Is
I
there
will
any
second it.
is there further discussion on the motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, two people, myself and Joe have their hands up. Joe, do you want, if
No, Tom, go ahead. Yep, go first.
okay, I don't mean to be negative and nor weigh in on the merits of of Miss Sanford and the gentleman's project, but I'm a little bit uncomfortable discussing the merits of this project at this meeting when we haven't interviewed other potential candidates. I think we should stick to just whether we are going to think about opening this back up. I am also uncomfortable with opening it up again for another applicant again without opening it for all for a 7 or 14 day period or whatever. I know that would throw our schedule off, but this has been a sliding thing, and I'm not sure that it's fair to every other 501c3 and potential applicant to open it up to another exception. And again, I'm setting aside the merits of the potential project that the two folks have come to talk to us today, just about process.
Joe, then Linda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree with Tom on some of the points, but I think that where this is kind of an emergency, we're Christine and David have come forward. I'd like to see their packet and really kind of delve into what's going on and see the pictures and see their assessment of what's going on at the bell tower, etc. I really think that's important. I normally, this wasn't an emergency. I don't think I would be wanting to see this application, but because it sounds like we really need to do something really quickly, I would like to review this application. Thank you.
Linda?
A couple of points. If this had been a brand new thing, nobody had ever seen it before, never done anything, and we had already invested well over $1 million on this property, this church, I would be hesitant to open it for them. But we have a substantial investment in this church that could be potentially destroyed if we don't step in. That's number one. Number two, Neville pointed it out before, we opened it for the town and we did not open it to the general public. And the town didn't come in until I think February or March, which was long after we had put in the citizens warrant articles. I'm not sure Tom was aware, but back then we put in citizens warrant. We put it in as a citizens warrant article due in November and not through the select board. And now last year we put it through the select board and did not do a citizens warrant articles, and we worked it out with town admin. And we never opened it up to the general public for the town. And the town came in with a $5 million bond that was quite contentious at the time. And we did it, but we did not open it up to the general public because it was a crisis with housing, which is one of the select board's top priorities on their strategic planning. So this is not the first time we've done it. We have two issues. We've opened it before without putting it out to the public, and it's an emergency, and it's on something we've already spent well over $1 million to protect. So I feel this is an entirely different situation as opposed to somebody new coming in, which was the one that didn't come in. Ultimately, they didn't have their act together. I know that. So that's my position here.
Jim?
I agree totally with what Linda said. And I think what makes this worthy of acceptance to me is, and Tom, I don't mean to take exception with what you said, but I think this kind of fits into the category of the two we talked about last month as well, because Christine had spoken to our office about a proposal. It's not like this is like something that came out of thin air after the deadline. They were trying to comply and couldn't for whatever reasons. So I support accepting this application. And Christine, I just want you to know, I do agree with Tom in the context of if we accept the application, it does not mean that the committee will support the funding request. It just means we will give it a fair look with all of the other applications that we have. We never have enough money to fund everything. And I'm not suggesting we're not going to fund this, but don't take this acceptance of your application as carte blanche that we're going to fund it in full, because we just don't know what we're going to do yet until we have all the hearings.
Mark,
Thank you.
next.
Thank you. I understand. Thank you.
Mark, you had raised your hand. You're muted.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Neville?
I'm just reiterating what Tim just said. The application, all we will be doing here is to adding this to the applicants that we have right now to be reviewed and a decision to be made as to like whether or not they will be funded. That's all this is about. Thank you very much.
That is clear.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this so much.
Mr. Chairman, I
Tom's got
believe
his
there was
hand
a
up, man.
motion. There was a motion made and seconded, so we're still on the motion.
Mr. Chair,
Tom's got his hand.
Please, whose hand is up?
it's Tom.
Tom,
Yeah, I think it's each of our duties as committee members to ask these questions. I was not putting a firm no on it, just to throw it out there. If the committee, my fellow committee members, feel this is a strong exception, I will take that point. I think I think looking back to the specific instance on the town is a little bit of a different case. I think we should focus on this case, and if the merits on making this exception are warranted, then that and the committee feels that way, that's fine. I do strongly think, though, for the next CPC go around, we should have a firm policy on exceptions, on accepting exceptions after the due date, and you know what, it's September 8th at 4 o'clock or whatever the specific time is.
Well,
I'm with you then on Tom.
it would be really easy to do in just making it a clear rule that is voted on by everyone, that there are no exceptions after our September 8th date.
I'm not willing to do that right now. No, not as part of this motion.
I agree. I'm not willing to do that either, because look at this case where we have a project where we have so much invested, where something of an emergency nature pops up. I mean, we never know what the future holds. I think we should always be willing to listen to the facts. But I do think, Tom, I agree with you in the context of a new project that surfaces after the due date. What gives me comfort on this one is that Christine was talking to our office prior to the deadline. I think that's what gives me comfort to accept this.
Thank you.
What's the pleasure of the committee? No?
We got a motion made and seconded on the floor. I suppose we call for a vote if nobody has anything. Eleanor still has her hand up, Mr. Chairman.
Just regarding a policy that we should definitely set for the next go round. One idea would be to anybody who contacts the office prior to the due date with, you know, I'm ready, but for this, I've got everything lined up. I've got my full packet, but for this, extenuating circumstances, et cetera, so that Glenna knows, and perhaps at the meeting where we vote to accept everything that's been submitted on time, duly complete applications, Glenna can say to us, you know, we can have this sort of situation where Christine comes forward at that meeting and says, look, I've got one more piece. I can't get there. There's a problem getting this budget number or whatever it is. So we're not caught off guard. We don't feel like we're, you know, deviating from the script of having to have things on time, exceptions, et cetera. So I think if and when we get to discussing an actual policy to put, so Glenna knows what to do and we know how to handle it, maybe that could be one way to deal with it. So because people know what our deadline is, there are things that get in the way. There are problems. So if Christine, you know, spoke to Glenna and Glenna felt like she could come to us and say, look, can they come to the meeting? Ken would say yes and present this, you know, these extenuating circumstances. Will we allow them a little bit of an extension to the deadline? That's one thought I have about how to deal with this.
I agreed completely.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Never.
The CPC has always had in the 20-something odd years of having a strict deadline. We have a public forum which does that. Other than the town, one other time it happened as it has happened this year. And that was, I believe it was the Plus department, because I was working the office at the time. And they came in late. They came in after 4 o'clock. But there was a dispute. They said no. It came to a whole thing that whereas the committee itself left it up to me. And I said, okay, let us go ahead and accept them. And I did that for a reason, because the person that they had during the problem, I mean, I would admit now that I didn't want them to lose their job because they were completely wrong. But what we did as a result of that was we decided as a committee to open it up, I believe, for 1 more week. So anyone else in the public can bring in any applications they have. So we kept to our strict form of submitting applications. I would hate for it to go and get into a thing whereas it gets where people can make a call into it's easy to say, someone can call the office and say, oh, I'm coming in, but I'm not coming. That's what happened the last time. I'm coming in, but I don't have everything, or the printer isn't working, and all of that. We're trying to eliminate that. And in the beginning, when we were getting 20 and 30 and 40 applications, you know, it was really absolutely necessary for us to do that. And I think still it is the same thing. based on the fact that regardless of how much money we have, it's still a limited amount of funds. And we are doing a community service that goes from year to year on end. And it's not something that where the people are going to be locked out forever. So I would like us to stay to our old form of keeping that strict deadline, being very careful, as I mentioned at the last meeting, that once we accept it once, we got to open it up for somebody else. And this is what happened here. That's what I'm seeing this as. So we have to stick to our strict form. If we break it, we have to make rules to amend it for the rest of the public. If we're going to open it up for one iota of the public, if we make an amends there, we're going to have to open it up for the rest of the public. I would not like us to do that. I like us to stick to our strict form that we have been doing over all these many years. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Linda?
I look at it a little differently, having worked for the town like Neville did for years. Tim as well worked for the town. Eleanor, we are public servants. We work with the public. We know there are issues with the public that arise. I tend to agree with what Eleanor said about when we do get down to this discussion, which is really outside the motion. I just have to caution the chairman that we are way outside the motion at the moment. That we do come up with a discussion about that if they get a hold of the office ahead of time and tell them, look, our printer broke or this, that, and the other thing, but I have everything else. I think that needs to be considered. But I'd like to move the question at the moment. I know I've spoken, you can't do that at the same time, but I think we should vote.
Is there any objection to voting on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion?
By roll call.
Roll
Can
call.
Mr. Chair, can we restate the motion just so it's clear, since it was 5 or so minutes ago?
Who made the motion? I
I
seconded.
did. The motion is to add this item to our other items for consideration for funding.
For FY25, Neville.
Yes.
I'll say, I will reiterate my second.
Okay, all those in favor? Neville?
Aye.
Yea or nay? Neville?
Aye.
Eleanor?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Linda?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Now, Mr. Chairman, can, I know Diane's not here, but is the application that's in the office now complete, or do we have to get it complete?
It is completed.
Okay, great. All righty.
So I will,
Redo the sheets.
yeah, I have to redo the sheets, and then Christine is not going to be scheduled for this week's interview sessions, but probably on that October 31st date, if we have enough room, or the November 2nd. And so you'll have your packets before then.
Right. I will come get Diane's and Tim's and Joe's and Eleanor's and deliver that one to them then for you. And Ken.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the
Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank you,
very
members.
next item on the agenda are the fund requisitions. We have one from the Nantucket Interfaith that Neville has brought in for $23,986 for fiscal year 23, and Hospital Thrift Shop that Neville's brought in for $1,275.76 for fiscal year 19. Is there a motion to approve those?
Mr.
I'll
Chair,
make a-
Tom?
I'd like to recuse from the first one since I am a employee of the Interfaith Council, please.
So noted.
That's a good idea. I'll make a motion to approve both of them as stated.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All by roll call. Neville?
Aye.
Eleanor?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Linda?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
And Tom? Who recused.
Tom's accused.
That's what I just said. Okay, the next item then is new business. The summary packet for roles of the CPC project managers. Glenda will speak to that.
Yes, I'm not sure if everyone is aware of the summary packet for the roles of the CPC project managers, or if you have ever received a copy. I know that Tom is new as well as Eleanor, but they are available if you need a copy. I can scan it and send it over to you. And the reason for this is because I've had some concerned community members regarding the roles of the CPC project managers and either how their projects have been handled or mishandled. So I just want to make sure that everyone is clear on their role as the CPC project manager. So I'll get a copy out to everyone. Linda has her hand.
Linda, you have your hand up.
I'm concerned when there's stuff on the agenda that we don't get copies of, we don't see. You said there's a letter of concern from Tammy and Corey.
Right, we haven't gotten to that point yet, but yeah, there was a letter of concern, and it was mostly regarding the meetings, and what the person stated was that it was embarrassing to watch it with the lies, condescending, and rude comments, and why there are still committee members or a member on the board that is still allowed to represent. This person has not issued a formal complaint, and that is why I did not share the letter. I did reach out to administration to see if we were able to share the letter, and I'm waiting to hear back from the person that submitted it to see if they want to issue a formal complaint. So this was just to kind of put everyone on notice that, and remind you that these meetings are being recorded, and as representations of the town and community preservation committee, it would be in our best interest to act professionally and, you know, just to be as polite as possible to one another, because we are one entity under community preservation.
Okay, but I do think sending out the packet's a great idea. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Okay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is under new business. And the last item on the agenda is the elections of a chair and a vice chair for the upcoming year. I will open the floor for nominations first for the position of CPC chair. Neville?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we keep Ken as the chair.
Second,
Are there any further nominations?
oh wait,
Eleanor?
I was gonna nominate for vice chair, so that the next.
Okay, well, first of all, let's finish with chair.
Okay.
If there are no other nominations, I would entertain a motion to approve the nomination of myself as chair. Do a roll call. Neville?
Aye.
Eleanor?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Linda?
I
Jim?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
And Tom Dixon.
Aye.
Right. Thank you. I am prepared to continue in the nomination floor is open for vice chair.
May I make a motion to nominate Mark Beal as vice chair?
Motion made by Eleanor Antonetti of Mark Field. Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Linda Williams.
Lynn, who is that, Joe?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have two nominees for the role of vice chair. Eleanor,
Yes?
your hand is up.
Oh, sorry, let me lower it, my bad.
I'm not sure how we go about. Okay, I guess do we go through the vote of the first nominee? And then vote on the second nominee? Is that the way? to do it?
Ken, there's an echo. Do you have two apparatus on in your house? Is Glenna's
Meet
phone
with
on
Glenna,
or
I
something?
Well, yeah, Glennis is on.
All right, there only should be one thing on in the house because otherwise we're getting a bounce and an echo and I can only hear every other word sometimes.
Noted.
There you go. Now you're muted. Someday Zoom will be a thing of the past.
Can you just bear with us a minute? All right, we've had two nominees, Mark or Linda. What I will do is I will go through a roll call and ask each of you to vote for one or the other, and I will have Glenna keep track of the votes. Is that satisfactory?
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay, Neville,
Mark Beal,
Eleanor,
Mark Beal?
Joe,
Linda Williams.
Linda,
Myself, I guess. That's weird.
Ken,
Linda,
Mark,
You're muted, Mark.
Thank you. I'll vote for Beal.
Tom.
Mark Beal.
All right, and Chair will vote for Mark as well. Mark will be vice chair.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Linda, for your service.
thank you.
Thank
Forget
you,
it.
Linda.
One less thing for you to do, maybe? Sort of.
The next item on the agenda
That's it.
Is nothing.
Nothing.
I think we should give Vice Chairman Beal 5 minutes for an acceptance speech.
Very funny, Tim.
Congratulations.
Okay, what I want to do is to have Glenna speak to the calendar for moving forward, if that's satisfactory to the commissioners.
I'm gonna be ready right after this. I'm ready for that.
So we have our first set of interviews.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. We have our first set of interviews.
Can't hear you.
Hear you.
Hold on. How's that?
Yep.
Okay, so we have our first set of interviews scheduled for this Friday. We will have 5 applicants that we will listen to, and then the next set of meetings will be scheduled for October 31st, which I am aware that it is Halloween. However, I reached out to everyone and found that that was the date where everyone is available except for one commissioner. And I asked that particular commissioner if they were okay with viewing it at a later date, and they said that they were. The reason for this is that we've normally been completed with all of our interviews by the end of October. But because of everyone's schedule and in an attempt to have everyone there as it has been in the past years, not unless a commissioner said they were okay with not being present, it is our effort to make sure that everybody has that opportunity to be there. And so the dates are Friday, this Friday, which I will send out the agenda. And then the following date will be October 31st. Both of those interview sessions will be held via Zoom, and they will start at 9 and end at 11. Linda has her hand up.
Linda, you put your hand up.
No, I'd just like to know enough in advance before these meetings as to who they are, so it's not the night before, because I like to look at them ahead of time. And now it's
Absolutely.
Noted, and we'll make sure that that gets out in enough time. Eleanor,
This is, my son's having surgery on Friday morning, but I told Glenna this, so I might have to log off. I hope I don't. But it depends on what time he comes out of the operation. So just FYI, I'm gonna be present for as much of it as I can.
These are taped, so when members miss them in the past, they were always able to go look at the videos.
Yeah, and I'll do that.
okay, anything else we need for today?
What's the next meeting after that one?
21st of November.
So it's so far, it is this Friday, October 20th, then Tuesday, October 31st. And then we're looking at early November. So far, looking at everyone that has responded. November 2nd, which is a Thursday.
Eleanor, you have a hand up? Okay. Is there any other items on the agenda for today? Hearing none, I will entertain the motion to adjourn.
So move.
Seconded,
Second,
all in favor, Neville,
Aye.
Eleanor,
aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you very much for attending today, and looking forward to our next meeting.
You.
Thank you.
Aye.
So